Hello, everybody. This is the Chocolate News Podcast. I'm your co-host, John Alexander Reese.
And I'm your co-host, Andria Carter.
And if you did not know, the Cincinnati Herald has been around since 1955 and is the leading African American owned newspaper in the greater Cincinnati area and Northern Kentucky area. How's it going, Andrea?
It's going fine, John, but it's hot.
Yes, indeed. Hot, hot, hot.
I mean, I was down in Florida and I was dealing with that heat while I was visiting my father, but this is ridiculous for Cincinnati.
Yeah, we're recording this on a Wednesday, August the 23rd, and it's at least 93 out there, and they say the heat index is like it's up to 100, and I think tomorrow it's going to actually be 100. So that's fun. That's
Oh yeah,
real fun.
it's gonna be fun. The heat index tomorrow is supposed to be between 105 and 110.
Fun.
So, and I was having problems with my allergies just running out for a minute today. So I probably will take precautions tomorrow before I venture out. But it's August, they say it's hot.
Yeah.
Um it's unbelievable. So, but
Yeah.
but it's a great way to start off chocolate news, or I should say melting chocolate news,
Yeah.
because of the heat. That's what a lot of people did over the weekend at the Black Family Reunion. A Saturday was an awesome day. People enjoy, I should say, the start of Black Family Reunion with the speaker, and then the parade, and then Saturday was a great day. Kelly Price gave a great performance. On Sunday, folks were melting. It was hot. I mean, you had people come and they left. That sun was beating down on folks. You had to stay hydrated. But overall, I think it was a huge success. A lot of new vendors down there, and everyone had a fantastic time. So, from the pictures that I saw on social media. So, congratulations on another successful Black Family Reunion. Yay.
Yeah, it's always good.
And another thing that I like to mention, I have two updates. One, in the gentleman, if you remember a story that we talked about maybe 2-3 weeks ago, up in the Cleveland area, there was the police had stopped Jadarius Rose. He was an unarmed truck driver who finally stopped because of a traffic light or traffic, one of his lights on his truck was out or something. They were trying to stop him about that. He stopped, he surrendered, and a local police officer with a canine dog released it and it attacked him. So now the update is the prosecutors in that case, they want the felony charge dropped against the Mr. Rose, and they are looking to just push it all under the rug because he had been attacked. When that officer was told, do not release the dog, even though the investigation has said he didn't do anything wrong, at least locally. According to the state troopers, they were told him several times, don't release the dog. So that's good news for him, for that story. So I'm
Yeah.
very happy to bring that update and mention it. Also, what I wanted to mention to everybody, that in the month of August, it is the National Black Business Month in Ohio. And we have a story that you can find on the web at the Cincinnati Herald website, and it features a number of wonderful local Black businesses, a few of which I have not visited yet, but I've heard some rave reviews about. And our own Taryn Kennebrew, formerly of Sweet Petite Desserts, who now has a partner who owns Cream and Sugar Coffee House. She's the photo feature of this article. And they talk about the number of Black businesses that you can find locally here in Cincinnati, just like Esoteric Brewery and Revel Wine and I should say Revel Wine Bar. I could not get that out, which is located at OTR. You have Just Qin, Mr. J's Soul Food, Neil Famous Barbecue. Some of these I've not been to yet. Sunny Blue Coffee and Ice Cream. That sounds interesting.
Hmm.
Third Per Coffee House and Wine Bar. I sense a theme there. And there's a Smith and Hannon bookstore. Just there's a number of of Black businesses around Cincinnati that we need to discover and check out. So just recognize that this is National Black Business Month. So if you have a favorite or you feel that you are interested in it, supporting a Black business, you have a plethora to choose from, not just soul food, not just barbecue. There are vegan stores out there. In fact, there's one that just opened up, I believe, in either Oakley or Wanted Hills that people are raving about right now, and they're vegan. And
Hmm.
supposedly their plant-based dishes are wonderful. And then you have just a number of other businesses. 6 Acres Bed and B&B, which is right there on Hamilton Avenue. That's been around for a long time and open. If you want a fast getaway, there are Airbnb. So there's a lot to choose from. So I would say check out our article, check out the Black businesses, and I know you're going to get some good food or some good service from them. So at least grab a cup of coffee.
Oh
So
yeah,
there,
most
oh yeah.
definitely.
And so, I mean, it's just I would just have to say, added to that article, Cincinnati has seen a wonderful patronage to our Black businesses, or a showcase of Black businesses through a number of events that have occurred down here this summer. You've had Black Tech Week, you've had the Cincinnati Music Festival, which the side event is the 513 Festival that goes along the same time as the music festival, and it showcases a number of local and regional businesses around the area, or musicians performing in different areas. The Black Music Walk of Fame opened, showcasing Cincinnati's eclectic genre of musicians and artists there. And then now we have the Black Family Union, different vendors there showcasing their wares, and seeing all the different organizations that are servicing our Black community, whether you're in need of certain services to help you out, just to maintain basic living conditions, to buying clothes or selling information, news, things like that. So I think we really, really got a great showcase of what Black Cincinnati is all about. So everyone needs to check that out.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And then I move on to a little national news. Sha'Carri Richardson. She is one, can I say badass
Yes,
on
she
the
is.
air?
Yes, she is.
She
She
she she
is.
she is one badass track star. I mean, her trials and tribulations, and she has come back to show the world that she knows what she's doing on a track. And that the 23-year-old blazed through 100 meters at a career best of 10.65 seconds. That is fast.
That's really
And
fast.
she did this at the 2023 World Athletic Championships. And I mean, that's faster than my car getting up to 80 on 75.
Oh,
So I mean, that is it's outstanding, well done. I know we're going to hear more from her and see what more she can do. And I think we have a lot of hidden gems in the track and field genre that people don't, we know but we don't know. And I think we need to get back to, especially with the Olympics next year, is going to be showcasing a lot of people at the Olympics in Paris. We need to get back to seeing who's the it people in track and field, especially the women. There was I was looking at social media, and there was a woman, a Black woman, who was a shot put person. You know that, not shot put, but they throw the disc.
yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
She threw um she she threw her best ever, and someone had put it on social media, and she totally unexpected that she threw this disc however far she threw it. It was wonderful. And I'm not trying to be an expert on it, but the glow on her face, she was like, she even surprised herself as how she was just ecstatic. And I think those gems, we're missing out on those gems that we need to start I'm glad football season is about to start. Go Bengals. The Reds are doing well. Go Reds. But I think also we need to look at alternative sports to see those gems that are happening, and and we should be able to talk about that more, and in anticipation of the Olympics next year. So that's my take on track and field right now. Congratulations, Sha'Carri.
Yes.
Then, John, you know more about this than I do. The $4 movie ticket, which I'm going to take advantage of, but
Oh, yeah. No, everyone should take advantage of it. So last year, uh, to help get people back into the movie theaters, the Cinema Foundation launched National Cinema Day. And last year, all tickets were $3. Anytime, any format. So if you wanted to watch a movie in IMAX, it was only $3. If you wanted to watch it in 3D, just $3. It's like any showtime that day, $3. Now, this year it's back. Now, this time the tickets are $4, but you can't
it's
complain about $4 tickets.
I can't complain though. I haven't really. There's not a lot out there that I want to see.
Yeah.
But I've been wanting to go. I've been hearing about Oppenheimer, heard
Oh
about
yeah.
Oppenheimer, and then I know this is crazy. That kid who has the blue beetle on his back, I've been watching the
I
trailers.
I saw Blue Beetle last weekend, and I can tell you it was a fun movie. I really enjoyed it, and you don't really. I know with some of these superhero movies, it's a whole cinematic universe. With Blue Beetle, you can just go in and just have fun. It's an origin movie. You don't have to know anything about really superheroes in order to get what's going on. So that's a fun movie, and I think definitely worth $4, in my opinion.
Okay, I'm going to look at that. And then The Sound of Freedom. I'm trying to remember what that movie was.
I'm trying to remember too. That was the movie with Jim Caviezel, and he plays like this I don't know, ex-soldier, ex-marine or whatever, and he's fighting child traffickers. A lot of people enjoyed that movie. So you know what? It's
Oh,
$4. If you want to see it,
yes.
it'd be a good day to go.
Oh, men fighting against men of human trafficking. That sounds right up my alley.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it'd be a good day to go. And also, folks, let me tell you some of the movies that are out that you may not know. So, in addition to Blue Beetle, Barbie is also out. That's making like a boatload of money. If you want to see what the whole Barbie craze is all about, that's playing. Like you said, Andrea Oppenheimer, that's playing. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. If you're into the Turtles, you can go see that. Meg 2, The Trench, which is Jason Statham just fighting a big prehistoric shark. Yeah,
Okay.
you
All
could go
right.
see that.
I was going to ask you, is this a shark movie again? Because I still
Yes,
remember Meg 1. Okay. All right.
yeah.
All right.
Haunted Mansion is still out. Like you said, Sound of Freedom. And also Super Mario Brothers movie is coming back too. If you want to see that on the big screen. The Little Mermaid, except it's the sing-along version. If you want to see that, you
No,
can go see it for $4.
no.
And also And also Mission Impossible movie, the latest one, which I highly recommend. That's a good action movie. That's still playing. And also they're re-releasing Jurassic Park for the 30th anniversary. My God, I can't believe it's been 30 years since Jurassic Park. But
It's been
anyway,
30,
if
you know what's been 30 years since Living Single came on.
that's right, yeah. That's right. I
I'm
completely
I'm I'm
forgot.
not I'm not going there. I'm just I'm just gonna be like, okay, but I do have this one thing to say. As
Yeah,
much as I like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when they first came out,
yeah.
why? I'm sorry. How many times are we gonna do this? Okay,
Well,
never
you know
mind.
what? I enjoy me some Ninja Turtles, so I'm gonna try to catch that, especially since this is $4. Every theater in your area should be doing that. There's a link on our website to like the nationalcinemaday.com. You can see a list of participating theaters, but from pretty much I saw any theater that's near you is going to participate in it because they want money. So
And on top of that, I mean, it's a great cause.
yeah,
It's a great vehicle, especially supporting are striking actors and actresses and writers.
Yeah.
This is their livelihood. We enjoy what their creativity. This is what they're
Yeah.
fighting for. They just want a piece of the pie as we do this. So I recommend go support
Yeah.
the cinema. I know we stream, but you know what? Every once in a while, you just want to sit in a seat, put your feet up, and have a nice, good drink and a bucket of popcorn and enjoy.
Yeah.
I
And
think this will be.
also, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just to say that's it. Just go and enjoy.
And just one more thing, folks. It's like I know the streaming out there, but nothing beats seeing a movie on the big screen. It's a magical experience. I don't know what it is about going to the theater, but it's just going to the theater, having a shared experience with a group of people you don't know. It's an interesting feeling, and that's why I hope movie theaters never die. And also support the movie theaters because I know a lot of people like, and I will admit the movie going experience hasn't been as wonderful as it used to be. You get people on their cell phones. Sometimes the floor may be sticky and all that stuff. But don't forget, it's like movie theaters were close to shutting down, like going bankrupt,
Yes.
during the pandemic. So it was this close.
Yeah.
AMC, I know AMC is filing for Chapter 11, and then Regal's filing for Chapter 11. So just saying, it's like the movie theaters don't make that much of a profit. Don't forget, they have to share the revenue with the studios.
Yeah.
So movie theaters make razor thin profits. So, whenever I can go to a movie, I like to go to the movie because I just like to go out, have fun, see the movie on the big screen. But, it's like, and if you're trying to, save money, I get that. Times are hard, inflation. But if you are going to go to the movies this Sunday, August 27th, National Cinema Day, $4 tickets, it's probably the best time to go. So, that's just me. But if you do decide to go, hope you have fun.
Well, I like the fact that now that you can have alcohol with the movie.
Yeah, that's great.
That
Also, alcohol.
I like. It's not just in the art houses. I mean, it's. I think that was the best thing, especially for adults. That was the best thing that you could ever do.
Oh, yeah.
For the movie experience, I think it's wonderful.
For like the longest time in other countries like Europe, they were able to serve alcohol. It was just really American theaters that were just sticklers on it. Yeah, like way, way before, back in the 90s, 80s, people were drinking beer in
I know.
theaters. It's just like, so at that time, Americans were a little bit behind on something.
Well, I mean, we may be behind, but eventually we catch up. And I think
Yeah,
I mean, I know everyone's habit has changed because of COVID.
yeah,
But at the same time, I think we need to hang on to some of those traditions that when you wanted something to do and you didn't want to sit at home, it was going to the movie theater or
oh
it was
yeah,
going out to hear someone play some live music. And I think it's a great treat. It's just wonderful to get outside yourself, sit back, relax, and watch it, and then do the trivia before
oh
the
yeah,
movie starts.
oh
That's
yeah.
the best part.
Always
But
fun.
it's always fun. So a couple more stories that I have for our chocolate news is we cannot stop talking about 45. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
I can't say his name today. But I think of Georgia is on everybody's mind this week. I think everyone's anticipating who's going to present one of the latest mugshots. Everyone's waiting for that one mugshot that's going to happen, or at least I hope that happens. But out of the 19 who were indicted with Donald Trump, I'm going to say his name just this once, there were Harrison Floyd and Trevion Cuddy, I believe Cuddy is her name. Trevion Cuddy is the former Kanye West associate who did his PR at one time. She's based in Chicago. And Harrison Floyd, who was the leader of Blacks for Trump. They are part of this overturn the election conspiracy down in Georgia. Unfortunately, allegedly, Trevion is connected to trying to convince those two election workers to overturn some votes or something like that. I don't exactly remember exactly what she tried to do with them, but she was instrumental in pressuring them to do something on behalf of Donald Trump.
Mm.
Harrison Ford, well, it's Trump for blacks. That's all I'm going to say about that. But both of them must present themselves before Friday. They have been indicted in trying to overturn the 2020 presidential election in Georgia. I will just give this brief update. There are two individuals, 6, maybe 7 people so far, including Rudy Giuliani, have presented themselves to the jail to appear before a judge and have been released on bail. Giuliani was the latest person to present today, and he's out on a $150,000 bond. But Meadows and another gentleman named Clark, they're both trying to get their cases moved to federal court, and so that way they can get the cases thrown out. One's charging that they are, because their work was on a federal level, they should not be charged by state. And another gentleman, he believes he has immunity, that he should not be charged by a state. A judge has not ruled on their motion yet, but everyone's waiting to see what is ruled. I would like to point out that if they don't present by noon on Friday, arrest warrants will be issued on their behalf to get them.
Oh boy.
Yes, even if they're waiting on the judge's ruling, they still need to present themselves while they're waiting for their case to be considered before a judge. And in fact, Clark even had the nerve to request that the judge make his decision on Tuesday evening so he has time to book a flight to go down to Georgia, which I thought was bold.
Yeah.
That was very bold on his part. And I would just like to state this. What I find interesting are the defendants' arguments claiming that whatever they did was on a national level, therefore they should be heard by a federal court. But I think everyone needs to take a step back and look at how elections are run in the United States. We don't have a federal election. To be voted in as president, it is 52 states voting on the same day for a particular people who want to lead our government.
Yeah.
There is no federal election. It is 52 individual state elections. That's the reason why you have to come together after the votes are counted. We have an electoral college. They have to be approved by Congress to solidify that each state said, yes, we voted for this person to be president. That is the reason why Mike Pence upheld his role and oversaw that and said, yes, we're just approving these. This is what the state is presenting to say that this person has been elected to represent and be president of our United States. So anytime you try to overturn any individual, you pinpoint or target any state and try to target their election, that's under state law of their state, not federal law. Federal law sort of oversees the election, but overall it is a state issue, not a federal one. And I think those who are so high up forget themselves that Georgia has and I think some Republicans have forgotten that Georgia has every right to protect themselves in what they tried to do to their state election. Because at the end of the day, they need to protect themselves. And if the state attorney can't do it, someone did. So, I think Fannie Willis is under the gun. She, people are just trying to get rid of her for what she's done. But at the end of the day, she's doing what someone was supposed to do. And, she's protecting Fulton County and their election practices for that county. Unfortunately, all what took place regarding that 2020 election took place in Fulton County. It didn't take place in any place else. It took place in Fulton County. So I think people need to step back and take a look at that and realize why Georgia is so important, because there's federal rule, and then there's state rule.
Yeah.
And the states and the county have a right to protect themselves. And I think that's what's missing in everything. Everyone's trying to spin it their way and make it political. But at the end of the day, I ain't mad at Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
Georgia's standing up for themselves. And you know what? They may have great peaches and some great football players and some other stuff, but at the end of the day, they're going to protect the rule of law and for their state.
As they should.
And that's where this is coming from. So I'm off my soapbox for that. And then the last bid for upholding rights and everything else on August 28th, it is going to be 60 years since the March on Washington.
Wow.
It'll be 60 years since Martin Luther King stood up and did his I Have a Dream speech. And I know the Black community in many, many ways has come a long way since that speech.
Yeah.
In many, many ways, we have not.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that certain people want to continue to put us down because they can't accept truth, they can't accept history, and they need a scapegoat, and they think the Black people are an easy scapegoat for what they have done wrong. And I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, if you don't like me, you don't like me. That doesn't stop me from making a living. That shouldn't stop me from doing whatever. So, but I think it's going to be interesting. The speeches that are going to be said on Saturday, the National Action Network is leading the charge of hosting this historic march on Washington. It's kind of sad that Mrs. King, Coretta Scott King, is dead. It's unfortunate she won't be there. I have been to 2 commemorative marches for the March on Washington, and I've seen her march with various people, with Reverend Jackson and other folks. And it's always an emotional moment to be in the crowd, to join a group of people to march, that stand up for what is right and what is true. And I think in many, many ways, even though a lot of our young people may look at this and like, oh, it's old fashioned, it's this, that, but no. There's a reason why when people are trying to limit what you can say, how you can say it, and voice it, marching is one of the finer moments and things, one of the finer things that you can do to get the word out. You know, think of all the women who've been fighting against fighting for reproductive rights. And what did the Supreme Court do? Unfortunately, they're crazy. Yeah. But I think that we need to watch Saturday, listen to what the people have to say. It's going to be long, it's going to be interesting. But I think that we're going to hear from some old activists. But I think we're going to hear from some new young people as well, our new young people. I think we're going to hear from the folks from the 2 young men from Tennessee. I think we're going to hear from a number of people from across the country who are starting to show their leadership, their strength, and where we're going to go next to fight this fight. Because at the end of the day, just because you don't like me and what I look like shouldn't stop you from living. It shouldn't stop you from being heard. It shouldn't stop you from being afraid of history and the truth. And, I think we'll just go from there. So that is the chocolate news for today.
All right. Well, thank you, Andrea. And that's it for today's show. So I want to thank Andrea again for all the melting chocolate news.
Oh, well, it's going to be sliding, and, it might be cool down a little bit by next week because, we'll have a lot more to talk about going into the pre-Labor Day weekend. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah. And remember, folks, you can find more information about today's topics and past podcast episodes at www.thecincinnatiherald.com, the Stench newsletter, or on our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Threads. And make sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast app. Our podcast is on Apple, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Amazon, YouTube, and Google Podcasts. In addition, the Cincinnati Herald is now accepting applications for an advertising representative. So please call or text our publisher, Walter White, at 513-680-7076 for more information. I'm John Alexander Reese.
And I'm Andrea Carter.
And have a good day.